have a defined instance members of a game element as a public, so it could be accessed from any place without going through public getter or setter and so on. The reason behind this is data encapsulation, which is information hiding by having private members, versus a performance issue. We are doing animation in certain frames. So if I do 1 frames per second, then each frame spends 1 second, which is 1,000 milliseconds. But for natural animation, more smooth graphics, we need to do like 20 frames per second or 50 frames per second. As we have a higher frames per second, the animation becomes more and more natural. Then if we have, for example, 20 frames per second, that means out of 1,000 milliseconds, you need to do 20 frames. That means each frame should spend only 50 milliseconds. So each frame, if you have a very complex game, you need to do lots of object movement and then object rendering, that you need to access those members quickly and as fast as you can. So going through public getter or setter is more time consuming compared to direct access. So for this reason, we sacrifice data encapsulation for a better performance in a typical game environment. If you have 50 frames per second, each frame will spend only 20 milliseconds. So it's a high complex game. You have thousands of game elements there. Then accessing those XY value, color, width and height, going through getter will be a little bit time consuming. So having them public direct access, so we may have a better performance. But of course, we sacrifice strict concept of data encapsulation in object-oriented programming, though. But here is a justification. When do you sacrifice the data encapsulation for a better performance?